Hi, it's like 3 in the morning here in Japan, and I've just been working, trying to bring funding for ETC. And I'm happy to say that I believe that we have funding for ETC. And ultimately, this big announcement is going to be made at UnDevCon on the 18th. And I understand that I'm not a coder, that you may think I have a dubious claim when I say that it was my innovation that ultimately was engineered by Vitalik and Michał and written into a white paper that ultimately produced Ethereum on the blockchain. Okay? I know it may be difficult for many of you to think that how could this be true? And obviously I must be lying or making this up. And for those of you who feel that way, I invite you to Skype me, FoundUp, and allow me or give me the courtesy as a way to show you something that I developed called the Soft Proto. And the Soft Proto was a theoretical dApp working on a theoretical platform, right, that I built, and I can show you in 2012. Now, I did not know what this theoretical platform would look like or be, but I knew the functionalities. I knew, for example, there would be a DAO. Now, I didn't call it a DAO, I called it an open corp. But the open corp's functionality and the way it was managed worked very similar to the capabilities and capacities of the DAO. I knew there would be an ability to create multiple currencies and everything else, and tokens and everything else. I knew that ultimately there would be self-funding vehicles that would drive everything together because everything is in a chain. Now, I didn't use those terms, but anyone who was from the blockchain development cycle who would look at my work would immediately make, aha, we could do it this way and this way. And it took a year to do. But ultimately, all Ethereum is engineered outcome of the Open Innovation Framework that I spent 3 years developing and toiling over and struggling over and building this Soft Proto, which I'm more than willing to show you. Well, my point here isn't about some IP claim or anything else. My point is that we have Ethereum Classic, which ultimately has every right to exist as long with Ethereum. And I believe that Ethereum Classic is the legitimate rightful heir of the blockchain. And it's because of that effort and because of that belief, I have for the last 2 months tirelessly been working to find the funding and the organization to do it. And ultimately, I have found a think tank that's going to be in place to bring all the parties together, all right? The leadership, to bring them to a neutral and be the harbinger of good and say, listen, I'm neutral here. I'm here to facilitate that. And not only that, this think tank is going to put in a significant amount of money. The second thing is, I will say it again. I have no desire, I have no interest in being the Vitalik for Classic. Not at all. I have only one interest, and that is seeing the introduction of a decentralized, selfless business model called FoundUps. A business model that inspired, as I said before, the creation of a minimal viable product of the architecture built on the blockchain that powers it. And the important thing is that we are running out of time as a species, as a planet, and I can clearly show and link that every one of the crises are mere externalities or outcomes of our business model, right, that we call the selfish startup or the egocentric startup ecosystem. And as I said before, I'm not against the startup. What I'm trying to fix here is actually an endemic problem. And to try to kind of explain to you what I mean is the startup ecosystem that we have right now is kind of like slashing your sidewall of a tire, right? Slashing it. And then going to a mechanic and saying, how do we fix it? What's pouring out of the tire, okay, is the limited resources of our planet. And it's flowing out at an even faster rate. And there's no way to fix this exhaling of limited resources, and it's going to deflate. It's just, you know, and it's going faster and faster and faster. And as long as we have the startup ecosystem that's built on something called compounded annual growth rate, right, which is unmanageable, or there's no, you know, you can't pull CAGR out of the system because it's endemically part of the system. So how does FoundUp help? Well, FoundUp basically brings together a new paradigm where CAGR is not part of it. It's built on something known as the blockchain, which you can click on this video and learn about that. And ultimately what it does is it treats CAGR as a puncture, right? And it's a big damn puncture right now. But the thing is that over time, that puncture is going to be fixed with FoundUps. And not only will it be fixed, what's going to happen is it's going to stop the inequality runaway train and everything else. So my only purpose, and once FoundUps happens and it's running and everything else, then I'm going to start doing FoundUps. Right? I'm an innovator. I'm not interested in being the CEO of FoundUps Corp. I'm not interested in doing all that. What I'm interested in is solving problems, right? And all FoundUps is a hammer to solve these problems. So I am appealing to you if you are part of Ethereum Classic, right? There are folks who feel that I have come into their sandbox. I'm an unknown, and their feeling is very similar to an actor or an artist, that I am somehow taking something away from them. And because I have a vision for and direction that I see that needs to happen in order to save our planet, right? That's what you got to think. The direction and vision that I have, that I'm trying to implement on ETC, has a greater purpose. It's not my purpose. It has a greater purpose to help save our planet. And if in that may sound crazy, how do you save a planet? What I mean, the living systems on the planet. I mean, you know, the whole climate change problem and all these other problems, which you have to understand are mere outcomes of an endemic problem. And you can't solve these externalities or outcomes because it's an endemic problem. And only when we turn and we usher in, it's kind of like a fork, right? Think of it this way. We have to hard fork. We have to hard fork our business model, right? We've reached the point that we need a hard fork. And basically, Ethereum Classic is the hard fork of a fork, you know, to save our business model, to save our planet, and to change things around. I don't know how else to say it. So I'm making this video because a lot of things are going to happen in the next few weeks. A lot of amazing things are going to happen for ETC in the next few weeks. And it's because of people working tirelessly that this is happening, right? That are flying around the planet, who are trying to bring the pieces together. And ultimately, I am looking for consensus. I'm looking for support. And I know some of you don't like me because I'm an outsider. That's your only reason why you don't like me. I'm an outsider. Maybe it's because I hunt hornets, you know? Maybe it's because I'm not a coder. I don't fit in your clothes, right? But maybe that's a good thing, because look what a coder, and look where that all took us. Maybe seeing Ethereum Classic from a different set of eyes is not necessarily a bad thing, but actually really a good thing. And I'm appealing to you, if you have an issue with me, connect with me. Be proactive with it. All right? I don't know who you are, but I want to basically assure you that my intentions for Ethereum Classic are for the good of everyone involved. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for some sort of capital gains or making money. I'm doing it because we have to do it. And that is what drives me. Thank you.